The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I saw this last night, and I thought this was just really cool. So they had the Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremonies this past weekend at Cooperstown. Have you ever been to Cooperstown?
I have not.
That's a place I would like to go. I think that would be that. Have you been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I have not.
I would like to go there as well.
Yep.
This may. I think I would rather. I think if I had my choice and I could only go to one, I think I'd go to Cooperstown.
Yes, I would.
I think I'd go to Cooperstown because I think there's more there. So Bert Blyleven posted this on social media, and he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a guy that came short. He was short of 300. He won 287 games in his career, won a couple World Series, but he posted this. What a weekend in Cooperstown. I had a great time. This is unbelievable. He said, ended with taking a photo with my boyhood idol, Sandy Koufax, along with evening fireworks. And then he posts a picture of him standing next to Sandy Koufax.
A Hall of Famer has a boyhood idol picture.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
I thought that was just so cool. It's just like
awesome.
How, when you talk about kind of relating to, your fans or just people in general. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's in the 1% club, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not even that, right? Maybe even less than that. He's a guy that won 287 Major League Baseball games, won a couple of World Series titles, and here he is. He's giddy enough to post a picture of him with Sandy Koufax.
Yep.
Who Sandy Koufax, he's known for the 4 no-hitters, but also was on 4 World Series teams.
Yep.
And then retired at age 30 because of a nerve problem in his arm that, today you would be able to fix.
Yep. And, Drysdale and Koufax, what a tandem. And Bert Blyleven, I will never forget people talking about his curveball. The fact that it just broke off the end of the table and it made him a great pitcher, a Hall of Fame pitcher. That pitch did. And but people forget those guys. They're fans just like anybody else. That's what's amazing to me is you'll see after a pro football game now guys trading jerseys.
Sure.
Sure. And that's just it's refreshing for me to see that childhood boy is coming out in some of them, but it's pretty neat.
Blyleven is only 15 years younger than Drysdale, and so when you kind of look at Koufax's career, he was done at 30, so he's been done for 60 years, and so basically Blyleven is 15 years old and younger. Yeah. He's not even 6 years old. I think he's like 5 years old when Koufax wins his first World Series. And so for him growing up in those real formative years, 7 to 11, 12 years old, 13 years old, that's the height of Sandy Koufax's career.
You take your sports career mentally from age 9 to 15, those were your heroes.
Yeah, those are your guys. Yeah,
that's your guys. 9 to 15, baseball, whatever sport. That's where 40 years from now you look back and say, "Hey, yeah, that was my guy."
I remember that guy. I remember that guy. I remember that guy.
9 to 15.
Yeah. No question. But anyway, I thought that was really.
It's amazing to me, and just like you have players. I grew up. I didn't realize the other sports had Hall of Fames like Cooperstown. Okay. I thought Cooperstown was not the other sports Hall of Fame, but I thought that was the only real major Hall of Fame. I thought that's where you want to go, is to Cooperstown to visit. Canton, Ohio eventually got there in my mind. And right now, like basketball, you've got the National College Basketball Hall of Fame. You've got the National Basketball Hall of Fame, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. You need something to hang your coat on. One, and Cooperstown did that for me starting out.
Sure, yeah. Like I said, it was something that's a place I'd like to go. Here's one last little baseball tidbit for you. This is good news. So you remember the Midland baseball player that collided? His name is Ryan Lasko. He collided with a teammate by the name of Devin Taylor during a game in Frisco and fractured his C6 and C7 vertebrae. He's had surgery, and now here we are 4 weeks later. He posted on social media yesterday that he has made some progress in his recovery and regained some feeling in his legs. He wrote on Instagram, "I have sensation from my feet up to my knees, along with a lot of involuntary leg movements. I've been getting some sensation in the side of my thighs, hamstrings, and back. I currently have about 75% usage of my left hand and about 50% in my right." He's got a long ways to go.
Good for him.
He's only 24 years old, but he's a guy that goes from, being in AA baseball and being not far from being in the big leagues to all of a sudden, flat on his back in a collision, which was just a horrific collision. Probably good that it happened in Frisco.
Yeah,
because
you got plenty of medical.
You got plenty of help right away, as opposed to having to fly him somewhere or travel by ambulance somewhere.
In a AA town, it could have been in a lot of worse places.
Could have been
in Midland.
They got hospitals in Midland, but they don't have the technology and the expertise like you've got in the DFW area. It's just a fact.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Morning Drive, we're just kind of floating around this morning. I feel like we're just kind of calm water, just on the raft, just kind of looking at the sky.
One of those terrific Tuesdays.
Yeah, terrific Tuesday. It's Tuesday, July the 28th, 2026. Here's Jeff McGuire with This Day in Sports History.
Well, let's see if I can mess that up. 1933. NFL divides into 2 5-team divisions. 1971. 16-time Gold Glove winner Brooks Robinson commits 3 errors in the 6th inning.
In 1 inning. Wow.
And he's one of the best at third base.
Maybe the best.
1989. Braves' Dale Murphy hits 2 3-run home runs in an inning, becoming the 14th man to hit 2 home runs in an inning and ties the record of 6 RBI in an inning. 1991. Dennis Martinez pitches his 13th the 13th perfect game in baseball history. And in 2023, former Red Raider Josh Young goes 3 for 4 with a double and a run scored in a 7-1 Rangers loss to the Padres. It is National Crawfish Day.
Yeah, I'm out on the crawfish. One, it's too hard to work to get the little tiny little bit of meat, and it stinks.
No argument from this side of the table.
Happy birthday, former Texas Tech football player Kevin Curtis turns 46 today.
Wow.
A business entrepreneur in Phoenix.
Is he still coaching?
No, he's a business entrepreneur in Phoenix, Arizona. I think he has a bunch of Orange Therapy franchises.
Orange Theory?
Theory. Yeah, Orange Theory.
Okay.
Yeah, which is therapy.
Right. He single-handedly saved Mike Leach's job because we were on the verge of losing to North Texas. And and that was at a point in time where we're still.
You don't want to lose to North Texas.
Well, we were still. The book was still. I mean, the book was out, and it was not looking good.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be one of those golden reader kind of things, as opposed to the novel.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're sitting right there on the east side in North Texas, and Daryl Ray Dickey is throwing footballs right down the sideline, and Kevin Curtis not only knocks the ball out of the hands of the guy, but then it fortuitously bounces and stays in bounds, and he recovers the fumble. Because if it goes out of bounds, North Texas has the ball at about about the 45-yard, maybe the 40-yard line, and we couldn't stop them. And we couldn't stop them. We lose that game. They weren't going to fire him then, but boy, the drum beat would have gotten really, really loud.
Yeah, we'd have had Jerry Moore all over again, maybe.
I don't know, because it was not good. Proceed, sir. Sorry.
Also celebrating a birthday today, Lori Laughlin, 62, Dana White, 57, Peter Cullen, 85, Ryan Tannehill, 38, D'Amico Ryans is 41, Manu Ginobili, 49, and Dick Ebersol is 79.
Ryan Tannehill, Big Spring, Texas A&M quarterback and wide receiver, played in the pros for Tennessee, and wanted to come to Texas Tech but didn't.
And why didn't he?
I don't think they recruited him real hard.
Well, that happens.
Yep.
That happens.
And on this day in 1978, I bet Chuck Heinz can tell us what happened.
1978, July the 27th, 1978. Is this, I don't know.
This is not space-related at all. National Lampoon's Animal House, a movie spoof about 1960s college fraternity starring John Belushi, opens in U.S. theaters.
Okay, and I saw it in the theater.
One of 4 movies that Chuck Heinz has confirmed he has seen.
That's right.
It was produced with an estimated budget of $3 million. It became a huge multi-million-dollar box office hit, spawning a slew of cinematic imitations, and became part of the pop culture history with such memorable lines as... Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we need a little Animal House today.
Nothing is over until we decide it is.
There you go.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
He's rolling. Yeah.
And that is required viewing, by the way, and this day in sports history.
Yeah, no question. And still to this day, when we say, hey, did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? We get a number of people that obviously have not seen that movie that are quick to point out that the Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor. We're aware.
Yeah.
We're aware,
It's amazing how many people our age and a little bit younger, their son says, Dad, I'm going to pledge of fraternity. The first thing that goes through your mind is Animal House.
Right.
You think, oh my gosh.
What's that on your collar, sir? It's a pledge pin. A pledge pin on your uniform. Niedermeyer. Get Niedermeyer to help you. He's a sneaky little blank just like you.
One of Chuck's favorites.
Yeah, it is. It is one.
It's one of the 4 confirmed he's seen.
Right, that I've seen and
that actually remembers viewing.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to the
theater.
Go to the theater. Yeah. Going to the theater and seeing it. Somebody says crawfish étouffée is amazing. Do you buy into the crawfish étouffée?
The only thing that comes out of the water that I don't enjoy is catfish.
Catfish.
Really?
Yeah. Something about catfish that I just can't get around. And I don't know what it is. Everything else is fine.
I'm just about in that opposite. I'm pretty good with catfish if it's fried.
And I've been to the place across the street over here that makes one of the best in town. No, not my thing.
I've got a granddaughter that would buy crawfish by the pound if she could find it fresh.
There was a fraternity here in town. They used to have a crawfish festival, and when we were located over on East Broadway, it's a natural amphitheater behind the radio station, and the proprietor of this fine company was a member of that fraternity, and we would rent out the backyard, as we called it, to this fraternity, and it would always take place a couple of weeks before, or even sometimes the weekend before Cinco de Mayo. And our staff here hated it because the pile of crawfish that would be left in various places would stink up, and I'd have to make sure that somebody would go in, and I'd make them clean it up. But man, oh my God, it was just
crawfish.
It was no bueno. Okay, it was not worth it. But hey, sometimes you serve at the whim, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Serve at the whim. So we hosted the Crawfish Festival.
Yes, sir. Enough said.
But that thing. The saddest that I ever was at the Crawfish Festival was, for whatever reason, I went to go check it out, and it was young. It was college, okay, and they, for whatever reason, the police had shown up or something, and something was going on. I walked up to the front of our building, and this police officer was making this girl empty. I mean, they were the coldest Coors Lights that I had seen in quite some time, and he was making her pour them out. And I was just like, oh, can I have one of those? But I didn't. It seems like such a waste here. Should give it to somebody that's old enough. I actually heard Eric Nadel on the broadcast on Sunday. A guy did a move to get back to the base, and Eric Nadel said he did a gator, and nobody got it, but I got it.
Yeah,
he did a gator.
Yep.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Craig Wells, who's in for Jamie Lent this morning. Jeff McGuire's here. I'm here. My name's Chuck Heinz. Glad to have you with us. Somebody asked this question off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. When will the D5 rumors be answered? That's a great question. I don't know.
When the court case gets finished.
Yeah, right.
My guess is about 5 minutes after that.
Right. Because, I mean...
long enough to walk out of the court case and pull up the Twitter and say, I'm going here.
I'm coming here.
Wherever there is.
I don't think... there's no question in my mind. There's no question in my mind that if it's ruled that he's going to have a fifth year, he's going to play here. I mean, he's been here since May.
Yeah.
I mean, in if there was a problem here, they wouldn't be exposing him to all their new guys. That's the rumor. The rumor is he's been here since May and he's working out at the Womble.
Yeah. I've
not seen him, so I can't sit here and say, I went over to the Womble and I saw Darion Williams and he's working. I have not seen that, okay? Just what I've heard. This is what everybody else has heard.
The truest statement to be made is a coach is not going to let a player like that be around his players, participate in practices, supervised practices, pickup games and stuff like that, unless he feels good about that player being around his players.
Yes.
You are absolutely correct about that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not going to happen. You're not going to let if that guy or that lady is dangerous as far as attitude dangerous, you're not going to let them. You're starting in the summer. You're starting to build on what you want to have all year, and you're not going to let something like that.
I mean, as much as
railroad and sends you a different direction.
As much as football wants to build culture and has to build culture within its position groups and its team as in general. They had a senior retreat, for football. They've done probably enormous number of team events and activities and things like that to get everybody on the same page and pulling the rope in the same direction. Basketball teams are doing the same thing.
Right.
I mean, the Lady Raiders are getting ready to go to Canada next week and play a few games. I mean, I've been to a couple practices. I mean, they're working out like they're getting ready for, K-State on Saturday right now. And I'm sure that the men are doing the same thing.
Yes.
They're just those practices are closed.
And Darian Williams did officially enter the transfer portal, which makes him ready to go as soon as he gets a word from the courthouse. And that's the question. When is that going to happen? Well, some have happened. A couple of them from Ohio, I think. A judge in Ohio got a couple of. But there's some groups of them that have yet to be ruled on. And if they get them, and I think there's several in several states.
There's one in California, I know.
Yep.
That involves Adley Blacklock.
Yep.
And there's the one, and then there's the one for Darian Williams is he's also seeking, and I think his was in Ohio.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if that what happens. And the NCAA has put a kind of a line in the sand, so to speak, and said we're gonna fight this to tooth and nail. But I mean, their fighting tooth and nail has not worked out very well. They need to go to a different set of lawyers, because their lawyers are like for ever.
My question, and certainly a question because I'm not even close to being a legal scholar, if a state judge in Ohio, it's kind of a two-part question. If a state judge in Ohio rules his group eligible, does a state judge in Virginia have to do the same thing? Do they follow the same rules? Also, if the NCAA says, we're not standing by this time, we're not accepting that, we're appealing that, we're taking it as far as we can take it, does that mean the injunction that the judge laid down to let the players play, is that null and void until it's decided? Or can they play and then they may have to stop playing if it's appealed and won? I mean, those are questions that confuse me as far as there's several states that have these injunctions awaiting a court opinion. Are they all, does one follow the other, or does a judge in Ohio say yes, but a judge in Wyoming says no, or California or whatever? I don't know.
My extensive TV lawyering viewing, from Perry Mason to L.A. Law to Law and Order to Matlock, would tell you, I think that just because you get it in one state doesn't mean that it works for all states, and it would have to go to a federal level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the appeal, if the NCAA appeals it, can the players play during that gray period of time?
Yeah, and then the appeal would have to be similar to what we had here with the Sorsby case, in that there couldn't be any retribution to the school that employs said player that has been declared eligible. In other words, if he's ultimately ruled to be declared ineligible, then you can't take away victories or penalize the school.
But do they have to stop playing at that point?
Yeah. You would think so, just like the Alabama kid did last year.
Yeah.
I think he played in one game, right?
Yeah. It's a lot to be decided.
And it's at some point in time, when does the NCAA just throw out their arms? And the problem is they can't. They can't. Yeah. It's like as parents, you set a rule. No, you're not going to go to the pool after 4:00. Well, Johnny's kids get to do that, and Sandy's kids, and my girlfriend's going to be there. Finally, Mom just throws up her arms and says, "Okay, to hell with it. Y'all just go run with forks in your mouths."
The difference is the manager of the pool has gone to court because he wants your kids to still be able to go to the pool and spend money and buy snacks and everything else, and that's where we're at.
Okay,
it's not the parents who said you can't do this. It's not the parents' fault. The pool is suing the parents.
I do have a question for the parents of elementary and middle school age kids. Are you ready for them to go back to school yet? I do have that question for everybody.
Is there any doubt in your mind what the answer to that is?
I don't know if we're quite. I mean, it's the 28th of July, so we're at the tipping point. And there may be like one last blast of summer for some folks, but there's probably a bunch that are like, I am so ready for my 14-year-old daughter to go back to school, or my 15-year-old son or my 13-year-old, or my 10-year-old or my 8-year-old to go back to school because I'm tearing my hair out.
It's amazing. I saw that Lovington, New Mexico started school last Thursday.
Oh, my gosh. Why?
I don't know. That's the earliest I've ever.
Nothing else better to do?
Yeah.
Send it back to school?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
There's some people who probably think that they should go all the time. I think it starts too soon. But
I'm a Labor Day to Memorial Day school guy.
Yeah, I'm not in that. I'm not in that world.
I know.
That's not. That's not my.
Yep.
I'm not in the. Let's see here. This sounds like from somebody that knows something. An injunction isn't a ruling on a case. It's basically a stay of execution, so to say, until an actual ruling can be made. The problem for the NCAA is usually the ruling comes in so much later that the season is already over, so there's no need to waste the money on a ruling that won't affect anything. Okay, that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Sooner in Lubbock goes, how many patches will be on the jersey? Okay, I'll predict this. Initially, there's going to be one on the front, okay? There's going to be one on the front. But then, once you've gotten that money for the one on the front, you're like, I think we could put one on the back too, okay? And then you get one on the back and you go, I think we could put one on the left leg of the short. Yeah. I think we could put one on the right leg of the short.
You got the Adidas patch, you got the Mahomes patch, you've got the Big 12 patch, and I'm hoping that the Big 12 monster patch is one patch. I'm hoping.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, we're talking Texas. We're talking Big 12 football for the 2026 season.
Okay.
I need the game you are most interested in that does not involve the Red Raiders.
Okay. So I got to pull up the
conference game.
It can be a non-conference game for somebody, if that's the one you think is the most interesting. But it's got to involve at least one Big 12 team.
Okay. That's a great question. Deserves a good answer.
Yeah. I wish I knew everybody's schedule, but I don't.
I think one that intrigues me, and being a Big 12 guy, I want it to mean something positive, is BYU and Notre Dame.
Oh, so that's exactly what somebody said right after. You have two of those real quick.
Yep. I just I want, if the conference is going to grow its reputation, so to speak, I think they need to win games like that. They need to, for us to deserve two teams into the playoffs as the current schedule is, as far as 12 teams, I think you've got to win games like that for your conference. And that one intrigues me probably as much or more than any of them.
Jeff, do you have one right off the bat?
I actually have four that I'm kind of looking at.
Okay.
But three of them are rivalry games that I would say every year would be on this list.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I'm looking at the fourth one as what my answer is. Arizona, Arizona State, BYU, Utah, TCU, Baylor. Like there's interest there because of the history of those teams and everything else. But for a game that doesn't happen every year, if you look at Houston's schedule, they have Tech. Their next loss might be Utah. And I say might be because if they win that game, you may be facing Houston again in the Big 12 championship game. I'm not saying that Houston's schedule is weak. It's just very light. It's very comparable to what Tech has got when it comes to, I guess, projection schedule, I guess is the way to be kind of putting it. It's you've got Colorado, you've got UCF, Tech and Utah are really kind of their only two question mark games, I guess is the way to put it. It's Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah, Cincinnati, Colorado, West Virginia, Baylor. Like, there's some intriguing games, but if Houston's who we think they are, an up-and-comer in the conference, Tech and Utah, those are their tough games. They get one early and one almost late. So that's the game I think I'm most interested in.
Jeff, there's a lot of prognosticators right now that if they're not buying in on BYU being the second best team, Houston fills that slot for a lot of them right now. And so I don't think it would be a shock to a lot of people that Houston would be in the Big 12 championship game.
All right, I'll give you a couple games. One is right off the bat. The one in Dublin. Yeah. North Carolina and TCU. What if North Carolina goes over there and beats TCU? Does that kind of change the narrative, at least for both teams a little bit, in terms of people now view Bill Belichick, I think, more as a crazy, off his rocker, 70-year-old that's, lost his mind, as opposed to a 7-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
And I think people look at Sonny Dykes and go, there's a bitter coach who fell into a great team and coached him to a national championship game. Can't take that away from him, because somebody's got to coach him. Somebody's got to put that team together. But that team was pretty well put together for him. And, if Sonny wins that game, TCU wins that game, that might change the narrative for their season. And it's funny how something on August the 29th could be so impactful for both teams.
And the added fact that TCU has got a brand new quarterback that's in the transfer portal that people out in this part of the country don't know real well, comes from Harvard. That's intriguing. It's very intriguing.
And then there's a game, I got to get the date for you. It's Arizona State and Texas A&M. I think that's a real intriguing game too. That game is scheduled for September the 12th, and that's at Kyle Field down in College Station. Both those games that I just talked about are 11 a.m. kickoffs. Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell you another September 12th game that I'm really looking forward to watching, and that's Oklahoma State and Oregon at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think
I just need to know how good Mestamaker is and how good Oklahoma State has the potential to be. I'm going
to give you a score right now.
Okay.
34-6 Oregon.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, that's what it should be if you go according to the way things have happened. But what if it's 46-42 Oregon?
Then I think you got to question Oregon's defense.
Okay. You don't going to give credit to Oklahoma State's offense that they're supposed to be so good, and Mestamaker's supposed to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks. I'm just saying. Yeah,
I'm going to be a little.
That's why I'm curious as how that's going to go.
No, I think that's fair. That's fair. I just don't think you can take a bunch of guys from North Texas and all of a sudden put them in the Big 12 and be successful.
I totally agree.
I hope not.
Yeah,
because then that, and I'm not necessarily I'm not the biggest Big 12 guy. I mean, I root for 2 schools in the Big 12, and that's it. And this whole narrative that you got to have, to me, 2 teams in the play. I mean, okay, I'd be fine with just one and it being Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the old.
It wouldn't bother me a bit.
Just worry about us, right?
It wouldn't bother me one bit.
Just worry about us.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The views of opinions of Chuck Heinz are not necessarily those of Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, or this station. We have to do that occasionally, just so that everybody knows. My views sometimes are a little bit different.
I love a good Frito pie, and biscuits and gravy is awesome.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. Chuck, can I interest you in my world-famous meatloaf Frito pie? The meatloaf is made with Nolan Ryan beef franks. No, thank you. Wait, did Chuck say no to biscuits and gravy? Yes. I like biscuits. I like gravy. I don't like biscuits and gravy together. But that's just me. All right. I saw this. This came down the pike yesterday morning, actually, early. It's from ESPN. 100 games that explain college football in 2026. Okay, this will be the 158th college football season. Were you a college football fan growing up?
Yes, and because of Texas Tech.
Because of Texas Tech.
I had a neighbor across the street that was a Tech grad. He worked in the oil fields in Hobbs, and he would take us to a Texas Tech game at least twice a year, maybe sometimes 3 times a year. But the first ones I remember are in the Donnie Anderson era.
Okay, I was going to ask you if you remember your first game.
Yeah, and that's when I became a college football fan.
Okay.
And, I had all kinds of teams. Then that's when I started listening to a guy named Kern Tips on the radio on the Humble Game of the Week.
Okay.
And then Jack Dale eventually.
Sure, absolutely. So, how old were you when you became an NFL fan, or were you also an NFL fan at the same time?
I told you earlier. In fact, I became a NFL fan in 1958, I believe, when the Giants and the Colts played in that overtime game.
Okay.
And so I was probably 8, 9 years old.
Okay. So that's for somebody growing up outside of an NFL city. That's relatively young.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first early TV games.
Yes.
So that's maybe that would have been the impetus for you.
Yeah.
And for me, growing up in an NFL city, I was an NFL fan first, and then the Royals were established in 1969. I was 8, and so that's right in that heartbeat. I mean, I can remember my first Royals game going in my Little League uniform.
Yeah.
And it was one of those wool uniforms, true wool uniforms.
Yes.
Okay. And we sat in right field. Okay. Yeah. And so it was warm. And in the Chiefs, we didn't get the Chiefs on TV. So I listened to the Chiefs on the radio.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up with the Chiefs. And we only got to see the Chiefs when they played on the road because the home games were blacked out in those days. Even though, and in a lot of cases, even the famous Christmas Day game in 1971 with the Dolphins and the Chiefs, that game was blacked out in Kansas City. Can you imagine that?
No.
A home playoff game. It was sold out and it was blacked out, and so we listened to it on the radio.
I do remember people telling stories about driving out of town a certain distance so they could go watch the game.
We weren't among them.
Yeah.
We weren't going to drive out of town and get into a hotel room and watch the 7 of us and watch the Chiefs play. Okay? I just went. The Chiefs played on my stereo in my window while I was shooting baskets outside. That's how I grew up with the Chiefs.
Yep, I hear you.
So anyway, so they put out this article, and so they have this thing called Legends. These are games with some titanic figures and performances. Some of the history's best players and their most noteworthy games. Okay, so I'm going to just give you the games that really involve Texas Tech here, because that's really what we're interested in. So game number... this is going to be innovation is what it's going to be listed in. This is going to be for Texas Tech. Game number 15 listed, okay, all time. And this is interesting because it involves Texas Tech and Texas. But it's 1968.
Okay.
September 28th, 1968. The Longhorns at that particular point in time were running the triple option. The triple option was developed by... Do you know who the triple option was? And the Wishbone, who was developed by?
Emory Ballard.
Emory Ballard, that's correct.
A high school coach from San Angelo Central.
Yeah. Do you know who his defensive coordinator was?
Spike Dykes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spike Dykes was his...
I knew they coached together. I didn't know if it was in.
Emory Ballard was the head coach at San Angelo Central, and Spike Dykes was was his defensive coordinator. And so Ballard, his task was to spruce up a stagnant offense and maximize a loaded Texas backfield with the split T. And this Houston sports writer, Mickey Herkowitz, called it, he said the formation looked like a pulley bone. The wishbone ended up sticking, the wishbone offense. But after falling behind 21-0 to Texas Tech, Darrell Royal then put in James Street. They almost came back, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. And Tech won 31-22.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. And then the next one for the Red Raiders comes in at number 22, and that's the November 1, 2008 game with Tech winning over then number 1 Texas 39-33.
And why do they credit that game? I mean, the obvious, it was one of the greatest games ever, but did they say why?
No, not really. I mean, it's very simple, one line compared to most of the others. 4 verticals, 3 field stormings, and 1 legendary touchdown.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
And I was thinking about this yesterday as I was driving down the Marshall Sharp Freeway. For all the kind of hand wringing over getting Graham Harrell into the Ring of Honor. Okay, Graham Harrell may have the best spot on the west side of the scoreboard.
Oh yeah.
You want to know why? Because you can see it. You can see it from the Marcia Sharp as you're driving by, even as low as it is. If you're driving underneath this, you can look up and to the left.
His name.
You can see his name.
Yep.
So he's got and he won't be by himself for long.
Yeah.
There'll be others. There'll be others up there, but it's a very, very prominent spot. Obviously, the number 1 game that they listed, and this is well before my time, but Jeff will like this because he's a big fan of this guy. So number 1 is November 11th, 1911. Carlisle beat Harvard 18-15. And you know who played for the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, Jeff?
I'm willing to bet it's a guy that had a gold medal that was taken away.
Yes.
Jim Thorpe.
He rushed for 173 yards against a typically untouchable Harvard defense. And he kicked 4 field goals as Carlisle upset the Crimson in front of 25,000 in Cambridge. Harvard wouldn't lose again until October of 1915. So they were good at that point in time.
If I'm not mistaken, and I very well could be, those 4 field goals were drop kicks.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'm not sure, though.
The first game that I would say of the true kind of modern era of college football is listed as number 6, and it was October 4, 1975. Ohio State, then number 2, beat number 13 UCLA 41-20, and that was one of Archie Griffin's best games. He rushed for 239 yards against North Carolina as a freshman. But as the defending Heisman Trophy winner, he locked up a second with a 21-carry, 160-yard performance against unbeaten UCLA.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.